Most gardening advice is a total waste of time. Watering every evening, weeding every Sunday, hauling fertilizer bags across the yard every other weekend. And by August, the garden still looks tired. The neighbor across the street hasn't pulled a weed in 3 years. Her garden is fuller. Her flowers are brighter. Her time is her own. She isn't a better gardener, she's just lazier. She stopped doing the dozen habits that eat the most hours and give the least back. These 10 lessons are how she makes the yard do the work for her. Stick around for Lesson 7, that one changes the whole season. Lesson 1. Do the sun audit once. Never guess again. You spend the summer moving heavy pots from one side of the porch to the other, chasing the light. The tomatoes end up in the shade. The kale burns. By July, it's already too late. The lazy gardener does a sun audit once. They watch where the light falls in the morning, afternoon, and evening. They place the garden near a water source and a path they already walk. One afternoon of observation eliminates an entire summer of moving things around. The plant goes in once and never moves again. Lesson 2. Stop feeding the plants. Feed the soil. You haul bags of synthetic fertilizer, mix chemicals in a watering can, apply it on a schedule. It works until the next rain washes it straight through. Then you start over. The lazy gardener treats the soil like a living thing, because it is. One layer of compost, once a year, then walk away. That organic matter builds up season after season, feeding the worms and microbes that feed the plants for free, indefinitely. In the forest, nobody fertilizes the trees. The lazy gardener copies the forest floor and lets the soil do the heavy lifting. Lesson 3. Tilling is a chore the soil never asked for. Every spring, the tiller comes out. And every spring, it destroys the biological structure the soil spent all year building, kills beneficial life, shatters drainage pathways, and drags thousands of dormant weed seeds to the surface where the light hits them and they explode, till once to fix a compacted, dead patch. After that, a broad fork lets air and water in without flipping the layers. Undisturbed soil stays healthy. The weeds stay buried. You run the tiller every spring and hand the weeds exactly what they need. The lazy gardener keeps the soil intact and spends Sunday on the porch. Lesson 4. Perennials are a 10-year decision. Annuals are a weekend habit. Every May, you're back at the nursery. Same plastic six-packs, same flowers, same vegetables, same bill. It's not gardening at that point, it's a subscription nobody signed up for. The lazy gardener plants perennials, asparagus, artichokes, fruit bushes, deep root systems that survive winter and come back every year, bigger, stronger, without anyone asking them to. You dig holes for plants that are dead in 6 months. The lazy gardener plants once and harvests for a decade. Lesson 5. Space the garden for a wheelbarrow, not a foot. A garden that's too tight becomes unworkable the moment plants mature. Paths need to be at least 36 inches wide enough for a wheelbarrow, enough to move without a sideways shuffle. That airflow between plants also cuts disease and rot almost entirely. Crowded plants compete for light and water. The harvest shrinks. You fight through a wall of overgrown vines every July just to find anything worth picking. The lazy gardener walks down wide paths and harvests with both hands free. Most people think getting more out of a garden means putting more in. The next 2 lessons go the other direction entirely. Lesson 6. Stop buying plants. Let the garden restock itself. Every spring, same story. Nursery, plastic trays, line at the register. The lazy gardener grows volunteers plants that self-seed and return on their own. Calendula, borage, dill. They drop seeds in the fall and sprout in spring without anyone's help. The best lettuce and cilantro gets left to bolt, go to seed, and scatter. The wind does the replanting. You wait in line at the garden center. The lazy gardener is still drinking their coffee. Lesson 7. Starting from seed is the master key. Seeds cost almost nothing compared to nursery transplants. More importantly, they unlock hundreds of varieties that simply don't exist as seedlings, flavors, colors, and sizes that never show up in a plastic tray at a hardware store. Big Seeds beans, corn, squash go straight into the ground. Tomatoes and peppers start indoors, get a head start, and hit the garden strong. Nursery seedlings fill the gaps when timing goes sideways. You pick from whatever 3 pepper varieties showed up at the local center. The lazy gardener orders from a catalog of 1,000. Once those seeds are in the ground, the season mostly runs itself as long as the next lesson gets done first. Lesson 8. Mulch is the only employee that never needs paying. Bare soil is an open invitation for weeds, for evaporation, for everything unwanted. Mulch closes that invitation. It blocks the sunlight that triggers weed germination, locks moisture into the ground, and feeds the soil as it breaks down. One thick layer, less watering, almost no weeding, cooler roots all summer. You spend mornings on your knees pulling weeds from dry, cracked dirt. The lazy gardener puts the mulch down once and watches the plants grow. Lesson 9. Use the finger test. Ignore the calendar. Overwatering kills just as surely as drought. It's just slower. Before touching the hose, push a finger 2 inches into the soil. Still damp? Walk away. Water in the morning so leaves dry before evening, which stops disease before it starts. Drip irrigation goes straight to the roots. No waste, no wet foliage. You run the timer even when it's raining. The lazy gardener only waters when the soil asks for it. Lesson 10. Pick often. Grow more. A plant's entire mission is to produce seeds. If a fruit rots on the vine, the plant reads that as mission accomplished and stops. Frequent harvesting tells it the job isn't done. It keeps pushing. Pinch the side shoots on basil and it gets bushier. Pull the mature leaves off kale and new growth comes from the center. Choose disease-resistant varieties from the start and skip the spraying entirely. You hold out for one big harvest and wonder why the plants shut down by August. The lazy gardener picks a little every day and ends the season with 30% more yield. A yard built on these 10 lessons grows itself. The mulch holds the water. The soil feeds itself. The right plants are in the right spots. The tilling stopped permanently. The grocery bill shrinks every month. The paths are wide. The weeds gave up. She finishes her coffee, sets the cup on the porch rail. The garden doesn't need her today.